Flosstube friends, Lisa here at Shady Tree Stitches, coming to you on Monday the 12th of February 2024. Thank you so much for joining me for one of my last Flosstubes in season 5. I can't believe it's been going that long. Thank you for taking the time to join me. As always, sit back, grab your stitching, grab a cuppa and see what I've been up to. This is a bit of a unusual celebratory one today because I've actually got two finishes, people. So let's get straight into it, shall we? All right, my first finish was a big goal I set myself. It was the stitch along from Frosted Pumpkin Castle Homecoming, and I set myself the goal to get this finished in February of 2024 when the last prompt was released, and I successfully achieved my goal and I'm so excited. I stitched this on a 32 count piece of opalescent garden meadow from Paddock Designs, of course. And what is interesting is that I substituted the two threads that were not DMC for some cottage gardens. So I wanted to share with you guys what I actually used. So for a blue, I used the J.K. Morrison, really nice variegated blue, and you can see that in these swirls. It's really beautiful, the variegation it got. I did it one stitch at a time, and there's another swirl over there. I did it one stitch at a time to get that effect. And then the other variegation I used, the other one I used, it's also featured a lot up the top. Every time there was magic flowing through, it called originally for this pinky colour. So I dug through my cottage gardens and I found this one, Mode de Paris, which is one of the regular BR, and it's got yellow, purple, and blue, and grey. So I thought that looked really effective every time it happened, and you know, depending on where it was, again, one stitch at a time, just made a beautiful variegation. So I am super pleased to have achieved my goal, and this means that I can now start something else to replace it in my 24 and 24 for Whip Warriors. But I'm not sure what I'm going to start. I had a plan, and that plan's been kafuddled, but more about that later. All right, so that was my one of my finishes, and my other finish was a model stitch, and this is a new concept for Paddock Designs, and I'm doing a bunch, as you know from last month, of monochromatic patterns. So here is Bird Egg, and Bird Egg is a beautiful little piece for Easter. It's done using Silks for You, which is what I'm doing for my monochromatics, 176 PR 176, and it's done on a piece of Sunshine 28 count opalescent on Paddock Designs fabric. I'm planning to sell these as a pattern, but also as a full kit, so that you'll get the thread, you get the fabric, and this frame that it was designed to fit into. And I haven't quite FFO'd it, although it's almost an FFO. I've done a good job of starting. I just need to add a bow or something to the top, but look, I have at least laced it up, and that's all you need to do. And if you wanted to, you could just sew a bit of felt or a bit of paper on there, but you don't really need to. So there you go. And I thought that having this at the bottom made a nice little stand for it. So if you're interested in that, check out my website later. I know it's a bit of a Paddock Designs plug early on, but it's a finish. So 2 finishes for February. I'm so stoked with that. So the silks are on the way, and as soon as I get the silks, I'll be able to sell the kits. All right, well, since I saw you guys, I have been busy doing some stitching. In fact, I think I've done about 5,000 or 6,000 stitches since we filmed, and it's only been just over a week. But you know, getting through to the end of the month, finishing model stitches, I get on a roll. The first thing that I was working on when I last saw you guys was my Savannahs Curtis from Mirabilia. She will definitely not be getting finished in time for the retreat that I'm going to next weekend up in Brisbane, the Mirabilia retreat, but I will take her with me to work on. So that'll be the only project I take to work on. And I did a couple of 100 down here working on a bit of the floor. So I'm really looking forward to meeting Miss Nora and finding out why the picture looks like she's in a red, white and blue dress and yet the colours are browns and greens and greys. So I'm guessing it's old DMC colour changes, but I'm not sure. So it's going to be, you know, really nice to have a pertinent question to ask the designer when I meet her in person, which is so exciting. So you've got that to look forward to, guys, the road trip special. There may or may not be one more before then. Depends on how much I get stitched in the next week. So that's the progress, that's where she's at. And just in case you hadn't seen her before, I've done a little bit at the top too. This is on a piece of Colour Cascades fabric, 32 count, that I was just using because I used to be in their fabric of the month briefly. All right. Also, I have been stitching on, it's down here, my Macintosh Mill. Now, Macintosh Mill by Dimensions. And I'm super excited to have realised last night when I was stitching on it, because I've got a goal of 2,000 stitches, I'm nearly a third of the way through it. It's full coverage. And when I get to this part here done, that's actually going to be basically a third of the pattern. When you have a look at the pattern up here, it's about a third across. So that's really exciting. Like my friends on Zoom asked me whether I'd be finishing it this year. It wasn't charted to be finished, but it is charted to be worked on 4 times in Whip Go. So I don't think it's going to be a finish, but you never know. I might get inspired and start using it. I'd like to finish it for a few reasons. 1, it's another finish. And 2, it's one of the 2 remaining pieces left on Ada that aren't full, well, it is a full coverage, but not like a Haid full coverage. So I'm really keen to sort of finish with the Ada and go back to the linen and even weave that I love so much more. So where did I get up to? Let me consult my trusty diary. This is the same as the one that I sell on Paddock Designs. It's just that I changed the cover. So my Macintosh Mill, I did 1,300 stitches so far. So I've got 700 more to reach my goal this month. So you will be seeing at least another $700 or $800 stitches on Macintosh Mill coming up to you in the coming week or so. I'd like to get that goal knocked over and then I can move on to some others. So I know that delves a little bit into plans. Oh, I need to keep that out for you. I've got something to show you that we require the assistance of Macintosh Mill. All right, then what else did I work on? That was it, the castle and the bird egg. So that's my whips, guys. 4 pieces, but lots of stitching, fitting them into the prompts. At the moment, I'm just finding my feet with what I want to do. I'm trying the yearly for the daily 30 with the books. I'm finding that a little bit tricky at the moment because I've got to actually give some thought to it, and life's just crazy. Back to school, plus I got called into work full time, so I'm full time at work plus running home and everything else in the business. So it's a bit crazy. Plus Whip Warriors, which is about to finish the first leg of the road trip at the end of this week. So I'm looking forward to chaos again next weekend. All right, let's move to plans first because they're what are on my lap. So as well as finishing the up to the next 1,000 in Macintosh Mill, I need to work on my Fairy Tale Village. One of the prompts I've got says your longest whip, and at 5 foot 4 inches, that's definitely the longest. So I need to dig that and work on it. I need to do 1,000 stitches on my Angel Iron Lamb because it was January's Whip Go and I didn't do it yet. So I need to get that done. But it fits in with a few different prompts. And the other one that came up this month in the planning videos, you remember, is All Hallows Eve. This would have been a good one to do for the moment when it was stitching for the Beat the Modmin, but I really wanted to get Macintosh Mill done first. So All Hallows Eve will be coming out to fill a couple of prompts and hopefully won't be too time consuming. All right, so let me pop them away. I thought I'd give you a quick look. See my beautiful Silks for You selection here with my Q-snap, not Q-snaps, my Nurge frames. This is my little shelf right next to me with all my stitchy things, my headphones, my magnifiers, my computer keyboard because I use an Apple iMac in here, my Diet Coke, and then my charging station. And then I don't know if I can do this down there, you can just see my whips sort of sitting there. And over here I finally found a frog thing, and it's really cool because not only does it mirror and it's got pretty butterflies on it, but I worked out that it holds your glasses just as well as your scissors and pens. So it sits down here next to me on that shelf, just easily accessible, so I'm not always losing my scissors, and that's something that makes me really happy. And then my diary slots in on the bookshelf next to my colour palette, my designing book, my name escapes me, my tablet for Pattern Keeper. All right, guys, haul. I have been shopping a little bit this week. Firstly, after much thought and no, not going to do it, I did join the Big Ass project that is coming to you from the, I can't remember the sampler group. Anyway, the Australian one's coming to me from the Stitches Merchant. I went for DMC because I'm not wealthy, and it is a 24-month sale that we are going to stitching this humongous sampler. So I will have that to show you next video, but I did buy that this week, and so it's on its way. So I also have been looking at ways to work on my stitching. I sit in my recliners with my legs up, and I've got my Gus's frame, which is awesome in here, and it's great for the big ones. But when I'm doing something smaller, like Macintosh Mill, I've been looking at trying different frames. And so I bought two. This one here is from Temu, and it cost me $39, I think. $6 a week for 4 weeks. It's got wooden knobs except one metal bit here, and everything else is wooden. And the idea is you sit on this part, put it under your leg, and I find it works really well facing towards me. And then you screw down your clamp. I had it open quite a bit. These work really well with nurges and hoops. They're not the right size for Q-snaps. I found this one worked really well, if you can see, when I put the clampy bit in there, because it attaches on here, but it doesn't really attach on hugely firmly, but gives you a nice angle to stitch at. And when I sit with that under my leg here, I can just do double-handed stitching. My back's nice and straight, I've got good eyesight, and I can see what I'm doing. So for an inexpensive option, I am endorsing this, and I will try and if you just go on Temu and do embroidery lap stand, and as I said, it just comes with this. It does have this one, you can extend it up and down, so you can also use it as table stand, which is super cool. But I also, after seeing it at my stitching day the other day, I also ordered the Nurge one. This was much more expensive. Like I see, it's got a big plate at the bottom, and it's got bendable, so you can actually adjust each of these ones. They've got plastic screws, and you can, it's got elbows that you can adjust to get your height. So this one, it's really comfy. It's got a slight finish on it, which the other one doesn't, and it's got a different sort of clamp up here. It's got a round all the way up, and it fits in the Nurge really well. So again, there it is, nice and close, ready to just stitch. What I'm really liking about this one though is it flips up very easily, so that you can get to the back to do your starting and finishing, and flipping down. So this one I got off Amazon, and it was $118. So I thought that was really good value, and because again of the elbows, you could use it as a table or a lap stand. Quite lightweight and quite portable, and as I said, the really good thing with the elbows is that, oops, just clunked myself up, you can concertina it like that, and that's how much space it takes in your suitcase or whatever when you're going on a retreat. So you can pop that into a bag. I think it's a little bit wide. Oh, it might just fit in my retreat bag, but we'll find out, won't we? So I'm not sure which one I'm going to take up to the retreat, but they will be getting tested out in the wild, but nice and portable, sturdy, well made. So I'm recommending both of them for your stitching pleasure, people. Okay, so that then leads me to other Paddock Lane Designs news. And Paddock Lane Designs is going to be busy. I am heading up to the Mirabilia retreat in Brisbane next weekend, although I'm not going as a shop owner, but as a stitcher. I'm looking forward to that immensely. However, if there's anyone who places an order and wants to save postage, just let me know beforehand and I'll bring it up. And I'll also have some colour swatches of fabrics because they're so different, especially my new ones. We have got a bunch of the new release fabrics, and I have sourced Ada in the base material, so that will be coming soon. I've also sourced from a supplier some really good floss drops, and I don't think I showed you guys these the other day. So I've got these ones, which are two holes. You can buy them from my website, and I'm sure I showed you these ones before. They're the ones with the place to put the DMC label, and you can put different ones. So I've got the floss drops available to be purchased. I've got more bull tip needles in size 26 and size 28, and I am looking forward to getting in a few more patterns when I do another order of some more designs. So again, if there's anything you're interested in and you want to get it from me, just let me know and I can add it to my next order. I tend to order once a month from the wholesalers in America because postage is just so astronomically horrific. Okay guys, so Flosstubes I've been watching. I have been watching a variety of different Flosstubes lately. I've been enjoying Chantal Dimeling's One for One Design Company, and she does a really lovely interview with Teresa Kogut, and that was really good because I got to learn a bit more about her Patreon, and I'm tempted to join just the base level just to get the updates and the behind the scenes stuff. I've also been watching Sarah's Stitchery. She's pretty new and she's very fun and vivacious, which I enjoy. I've been enjoying Lindy Stitch's Nashville Market previews. Really good with that. And I've also been enjoying, I'm just flicking through to see who else I was watching. No one else is jumping up on my slide. So there's some for you for today. If you're looking for something to watch, I recommend those guys. And of course, the usuals, Just Keep Stitching with Pam and Steph, Garon Stitchery, Sunshine Stitches, and they tend to be my go-tos every week. So I look forward to finding some more new ones to share with you. All right, I'm starting to ramble, guys. I have more designing to do. I have some work to do, and I've got to take my daughter to an appointment today. So I will get this video all done and dusted. It's a nice short one for you, and I will look forward to catching you when I do. Happy stitching, everyone.